Hello, students. Welcome back to my class. I hope that you all have watched my previous class in which I had discussed oogenesis. And if you have not watched, then do watch it. It will help you to understand the better. And today I shall teach you new topic, that is menstrual cycle in females. So students, let us start our today's class. So let us start our class. So first let us know what is menstrual cycle. So menstrual cycle is the reproductive cycle, okay, which occurs in female primates like monkey, apes and human being. So this is called your menstrual cycle. And in menstrual cycle what happens actually is a series of natural changes in hormone production takes place, okay, and this cycle starts at puberty, okay. When a female reach its puberty stage, then the cycle starts in them. Now the question is that what is the importance of menstrual cycle? So this cycle is important for the production of oocytes and for the preparation of uterus for the pregnancy. So during the cycle it prepare uterus for pregnancy, okay. Now the cycle of events, what happened in the cycle, events takes place, okay, and this event starts from one menstruation till the next one. So it is a cycle, right? Cycle means what? The starting and the ending point should be same, then it will form a cycle, isn't it? So it start from one menstruation to next menstruation. So this is your cycle, and during this cycle so many events takes place and it repeats after an interval of 28 to 35 days, okay. Most probably it takes place in 28 to 29 days, and it varies women to women, okay. Every woman has a different type of body, so it varies, and only one egg is released in per cycle, okay. So in one menstruation cycle only one egg will be released. Now what is menstruation? So menstruation is the process by which blood and mucosal tissue are regularly discharged, okay. So menstruation is nothing but it's a shade of blood, okay, or you can say release, discharge of blood, but in periodic manner, and it discharge from the inner line of the uterus through vagina. So the blood discharge, it takes place through the vagina. I hope that you all remember the female reproductive system, right? Where is uterus, where is cervix, and where is vagina? So I hope that each and every part of female reproductive system is clear to you. So this is called your menstruation. So this menstruation, okay, the first menstruation for a human female is called menarche. So you should know this term, okay, menarche. So menarche is nothing but it's the first menstruation which takes place in human female, and it starts at puberty. So there is one more word, okay, which is called menopause. So menarche and menopause are opposite of each other, okay. So menopause is what? It is a permanent ceasing of menstrual cycle, okay. So permanent ceasing of menstrual cycle in female due to depletion of oocytes. So here what happened, oocytes it get depleted, okay, and as a result of aging, and this depletion is a result of aging. So with the age of female, okay, when they starts aging, the depletion of oocytes takes place, and that leads to the permanent ceasing of this cycle. So this is called your menopause, and the average age for menopause is approximately 45 to 50 years. So I hope that this is clear. Now, this menstrual cycle is divided into different phases. So, there are total 4 phases: menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulation, and luteal phase. So, that one cycle, okay, from one menstruation to second menstruation, there are several events which takes place, several phases occur. So let us study this 4 type of phases and the changes that takes place in each phases. So before that, we should know some terms and some hormones which are responsible or which plays an important role during this phase. So let us learn those things first. Here are some female hormones which plays an important role in menstrual cycle. So let us see from where these hormones are released, or which part of our body release this hormone. Hypothalamus. So hypothalamus secretes a hormone which is called gonadotropin releasing hormone, and therefore this hormone is also known as thalamus hormone. And this hormone, it acts on anterior pituitary, and then anterior pituitary, it releases two gonadotropin hormone, that is FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, and the next one is luteinizing hormone. These two hormone act on ovary, and then ovary will secrete estrogen and progesterone which act on uterus, which leads to the menstruation. So let us learn the function of this hormone in next picture. Okay, so here are the functions of this hormone. FSH, it stimulates follicular growth in ovaries, it stimulates estrogen secretion. Luteinizing hormone, its surge causes ovulation. Now what is LH surge, we will learn later. Then it results in formation of corpus luteum. What is corpus luteum, how does it form, we will learn, okay, in later topic. Then estrogen, it helps in thickening lining, so that it helps in thickening of endometrium. It inhibits FSH and LH for most of the cycle. So it slow down the secretion of FSH and LH, okay, and it stimulate FSH and LH releases pre-ovulation. And progesterone, it thickens uterine lining, that is endometrium, as well as it inhibits FSH and LH. So in next picture, I shall explain you the role of this hormone and different phases of menstrual cycle. In this diagram, we will see the phases that occur between one menstrual cycle. Okay, what are the phases, what are the events that takes place between one menstrual cycle. So let us see first what is menstrual cycle or menstrual phase. In this phase, menstrual flow occurs. It typically lasts for 3 to 5 days, okay, but in some female it may vary to 7 days, 2 to 7 days, or 8 days. All right, there is a breakdown of endometrial lining. Now we know that menstrual phase or menstrual flow means what? The shedding of blood, right? So it is actually the endometrial lining which breaks down and comes out from the vagina. It occurs when ovum released by the ovary is not fertilized. So actually what happened, we know that ovary, it releases one egg in every cycle, right? So when that ovum does not get fertilized with, okay, when the fertilization doesn't takes place, then that ovum is breakdown and it comes out from the body. Then now let us start the phases which takes place during this menstrual cycle. Follicular phase. In this phase, what happened? The primary follicles in the ovary grow to form a fully matured Graafian follicle. I hope you all remember in oogenesis I had taught you how primary follicle grows to secondary follicle develop into mature follicle or tertiary follicle and then mature follicle, right, the Graafian follicle. So here you can see in the picture the pituitary hormone level, right. So at the beginning the hormone level is not that high, okay. So it keeps on rising and again on the 14th day it goes high, isn't it? Again it comes down, okay. Now during this what happened, this follicles also grows as you can see. So primary follicles it developed, alright, and this is due to the FSH. So FSH stimulate follicular development. Then the endometrium regenerated through proliferation. So during this phase the endometrium, which is shed from the bodies, again it regenerated through proliferation, okay. So therefore it is also known as proliferative phase. Proliferation means what? Multiplication, right, of cells, isn't it? Now these changes in ovary and uterus are induced by ovarian hormones. So that is luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone are responsible for these changes that takes place in ovary. Now the level of gonadotropin gradually increases through follicular phase. As I told you, as you can see here, the hormone level it gradually increases. As you can see here, the hormones, okay, it increases, and the increased level of LH and FSH it stimulate follicular development, which I have told you that this two hormone it stimulates the growth of the follicle. As you can see, the size of the follicle it grows, okay. Then they also stimulate secretion of estrogen by the growing follicles. See, when they grow, okay, when the follicles grow, they start secreting or releasing estrogen, okay. The growing follicle will release estrogen and progesterone, okay. After the follicular phase, okay, the follicles have grown, right. Now next what? Next comes your ovulation. So during this phase what happened? Ovum is released, okay, as you can see in a diagram, okay. During this phase the level of LH and FSH reaches their peak. As you can see here, the peak of LH and FSH, right. So this is on most probably on 14th and 15 days, okay. It most probably occur at in the 14th day. So the level is very high and it sometimes it varies either 13 or 15 day also. So the level of LH and FSH it reaches to their peak, okay. What happen is rapid increase in LH, okay. So here the LH, okay, it increases very rapidly, okay, in the mid of the cycle. See, the total is 28 days, right. So the mid of the 28 days is 14. So mid of the cycle this LH level increases. So because of that it induces the rupture of Graafian follicle, okay. Since the hormone level is very high during this time, okay, on 14th day, therefore that leads to the induction, or it induces the rupture of Graafian follicle and thereby it releases ovum, okay. Now during this day, okay, or you can say on 14th day, as I told you that LH it reaches to its peak, right, there is a rapid increase. So this is known as your LH surge. So I have just shown you in the previous picture in the function of LH, right, LH surge. LH surge means rapid increase in LH in the mid cycle, okay, and it induces the rupture of Graafian follicle. So here you can see in the picture the mature follicle, right, it ruptures and here the ovum has released, which is called your ovulation. Then after that what happened? So this ovulation, right, so this is the result of LH surge, that is the increase of LH level, okay, which leads to the decrease of FSH. Now at this stage, as you can see, the blue color line and the red color, right? So the blue color is high, right, and the red one is low. So on this day during ovulation, LH level is very high. On the other hand, FSH is low, okay, it comes down, it decreases. I hope that ovulation is clear to you. Now in this period, what happened during the ovulation, there is not much change in endometrium, okay, because during this phase only the ovum is released, the follicle get matured, and so Graafian follicle, it matured, it ruptures and it releases ovum in ovulation. Now after ovulation, luteal phase start. In this phase, corpus luteum form. So what is corpus luteum? It is the remaining part of the Graafian follicle after ovulation, okay. So the remaining part, it start transforming, or it transform into corpus luteum. And during this phase, during this period, estrogen and progesterone are secreted in large quantities by corpus luteum, and the endometrium, it still keeps on increasing in thickness, okay. The thickness of the endometrium, it increases, okay, thickening increases, and the uterine glands increases in length and diameter. So this secrete their secretion into uterine cavity, and the line of the endometrium is thrown into folds, okay, projecting into the lumen, okay, giving the gland wall a saw edge or tufted appearance. Means the lining of endometrium, it keeps on increasing, okay, the thickness increases due to the secretion of estrogen and progesterone. So this phase is called as your luteal phase. So one more thing, okay, once this luteal phase is over, then what happened, how this menstrual cycle starts, right? So as I told you that ovum is released right after the luteal phase start, where endometrium thickness means what, they are preparing for the pregnancy. So the egg which is released by the ovary, right, they prepare themselves for the fertilization. When they does not get fertilized, when there is no fertilization takes place, then this endometrium material, they shed, they break down, okay, and they comes out from the body in the form of blood, in the form of bleeding through vagina, which is called your menstruation or the periods, right? So this is how a series of event takes place between one menstrual cycle to another menstrual cycle. So once again, when the menstruation takes place in female body, again the follicular phase will start, again your ovulation will takes place, and again luteal phase, again menstruation. So this is how this phase keeps on going from one to the another. So this is all about menstruation. So I hope that this is clear to you, and if you have any doubt, then just let me know, and do write notes on this, and yes, one more thing, this menstrual cycle, okay, it is important for your entrance exam as well. So many questions comes mainly for hormones, which hormone increases when, which hormone decreases, which hormone is released or high during the luteal phase, like progesterone and estrogen are high, right, during luteal phase, and what happens in ovulation. So most of the questions do comes from this topic. So learn this properly, and if any doubt, then just let me know, okay. So this is all for menstrual cycle. So in next topic, I shall cover your fertilization and implantation. So this is all for today's class. I'll see you in my next class.